I watched the Borderlands 4 trailer in 0.25 speed and found some cool details. I'm Michael J. That's not right. Anyways, if you're like me, you probably thought this trailer was pretty decent, but wasn't anything too special. However, I may have found some cool details that you didn't quite see. So come with me and see what details might be hidden in this trailer. And obviously, a lot of this is speculation as they aren't confirming much right now. We start off the trailer with a white hand grabbing a psycho mask and flipping it around. This mask has the classic design that we all know and love, and this one actually has glowing eyes. And if we look closer, we see these are actually asteroids falling down. So this must be immediately after Elpis has crashed through the cloaking barrier that this planet has around it. And this hand must be this character. I'm unsure if we have a confirmed name for her or not, but we can see her white hand and long fingers in the next few shots. Then we cut to her putting a mask on a bandit, and this mask we can actually see power up. And I think it would actually be cool if these masks have a sort of ability to resurrect a corpse, like a Frankenstein. Especially because you can see the psycho with lines around his neck, and this makes him look like his head was actually reattached. They've been saying they want to explore more cyberpunk-like ideas, so it seems likely that they could incorporate some sort of elements like that into Borderlands 4. Then Spider Lady does a little roar, and we pan out to see some really cool designs, and I hope they make them feel really unique as actual individual enemies. These scavs look very cool, and yeah, I do think it's likely they're scavs. We can get into that later, but they could be a completely new faction as well. We see some big hulking guys right here, we see some standard looking soldiers, and then we also see these really huge robotic looking scavs. We can also see this really weird slug or goblin looking dude. Like, seriously, what even is this? I don't know, maybe he's infected? Let me know what you think down below. We also see this very cool ninja looking dude, and I can already imagine these guys being a very big problem endgame. And this psycho almost looks infected in some weird way. I don't know, like maybe this psycho could be a corpse exploding enemy. We pan across the battlefield and we get all of these artificial soldiers. I'm not sure what the story is behind these guys, however later we can see them wielding weapons. We can also see these massive dogs and scythe wielding guys, and these guys simply just look cool. Because of this hat and this scythe, like something about that no matter what, it just looks awesome in video games. These guys also look very close to Flack for some reason, or this dude from Tales from the Borderlands. And also, these guys literally just look like the Mark 1 Iron Man coming out of the cave, so I'm unsure of what these guys are gonna do. This is something I've been thinking, this is just a random theory, but how did the Timekeeper actually get this mask? I mean, maybe these guys have already been fighting and he's getting mad that he's lost so many soldiers. I mean, maybe we're helping the Psychos to kill the Time Leader because he's so powerful, and that's why the Psychos are winning and he's getting mad. However, this could also just be completely before the Vault Hunters even get there, so I'm not sure. Moving on to some scenery. And okay, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if it's Stockholm Syndrome or not, but looking at these so closely and really examining them made me like them a lot more. This scene of these TV screens with the Timekeeper's face right here, I've seen some theories about this being the Timekeeper's base or his vault. You know, they're already showing the final vault. However, I think it's more likely that this is just some sort of city location with propaganda screens. As you can see, this webbing-like dome, and this light might either be from a distant city or could even be a respawn station. Next, we get this scav base, and you can see scav right here on the tubes, as well as this ravine-looking area. It looks like you can kind of fall down in there, and a cliff over here. This could simply be an entrance area where they lock you out, you know, like in Bloodshot Stronghold. However, I also think this could just be a boss arena. You know, maybe this is a little ledge to jump down, and these big circles look like they might activate in some way, like Loudmouth in Borderlands 3, the first boss that you fight. Then we get this really cool snowy spire area, which seems like a base, and these super jagged rocks actually make me question this statement. However, later we can also see this glowing purple, which is likely iridium powered. Maybe it powers the planet's cloak, or maybe it could be some sort of mortar laser weapon, but this scene looks so much like a Marvel location. Is it just me? Alright, moving on. We have this space station looking area. Maybe there's no gravity and you have to jump across these platforms, or maybe this could be something to do with the Timekeeper. Maybe this is just some space station that you have to explore and take over. Next, we get this scene of a spider psycho breakdancing. I'm gonna be honest, this is kinda awesome, and I hope that they use these guys to make some sort of reference, at least to this dude from Transformers. Next, we get another facility shot, which is this exact facility from earlier with the big spire. However, we can also get another nice shot of Elpis all exploded after its impact with the barrier. Moving on to the next scene, we get this seemingly innocent shot of this guy sitting in a chair. And I have two thoughts about this. This could either be a non-aggro enemy, maybe they're just waiting around for you to appear and they will become aggro on you and they'll stand up and pick up their gun. Or, what I hope this means, is that we have safe haven cities returning in some way. You can see this area over here, which looks like more buildings, and this area hidden away over here. And it looks like it could either have some shops because of the green light being very similar to the ammo vending machines from previous games. Also, there's graffiti. This next shot is quite short, but very interesting. This could either be a boss room, or this could even be a city's power core, which it might be malfunctioning in some sort of way. Maybe we have to fix it, or maybe we're actually doing it to an enemy facility or city. We get another quick shot of one of the dog enemies from earlier. However, this guy does appear small. However, I'd say he's pretty average. Now, this underground city looking place is super cool looking and might be one of my favorite shots in the whole trailer. Having all of these city shots has made me wonder if they'll have multiple safe haven cities and ally cities that you can go through across multiple planets. You know, maybe Moxie moves here and you can find maybe Axton or Tiny Tina in another one. That could be really cool. You know, maybe we'll find Earl camping out in this place instead of Sanctuary. And this shot is concept art from PAX, so I won't be talking about it. We get another really quick shot of this psycho just standing in a prison-esque city, and this gives me Killzone vibes, like a futuristic cyberpunk Killzone. We can also see more Timekeeper propaganda, or this could even be wanted signs for him. We get a shot of the Vault Hunters. This guy kind of looks like a mix of Kratos and Zane, and this girl is hopefully Emily Swan, because that would be pretty cool. Although the coolest part of her design, in my opinion, is her little wings and her big trenchcoat cloak thing. I think most of them are pretty bland. And also, you can see that webbed dome from earlier in the background, so this is most likely the same place, or same planet at the very least. Then the big guy does a slam, which might actually be one of his action skills. I also think he'll likely have some Doomfist-like abilities, you know, maybe a dash punch or something along the lines of that. And they did talk about adding more movement dynamics, so the slam could just be part of that as well. This girl, who I've seen discussions saying might be ex-Malouin, or a Trant sibling or sister, maybe even a kid, you know, she could be related to them in some way. Again, that could be kind of cool, and I think she'll have some kind of element mines, or maybe even a bubble shield because of these little mine-looking things. I think she could play very similar to Axton. And then we get One Direction Zane, who actually has some pretty cool looking energy swords, and this pretty cool looking visor. You know, as long as he plays like Zane but a little bit better, I'd be happy. We also get another reveal of these dog enemies, and this one looks like he could shoot some sort of mortars or energy beams out of these little holes on his back. And Randy Pitchford actually said that these guys never have tissues in their shack, which I thought was a kind of weird point to bring up about them. But anyways, next we get a shot of the Emily character shooting this laser weapon, which is likely an LMG as it looks very big, although I think it might be an action skill, which could be kind of cool. And then we get this shot of the vehicles. You will no longer need stations to spawn vehicles, and you can just spawn them from anywhere. Also, this is literally a pod racer. Anyways, the pod racer takes off, and we fly over to this really cool looking area, and we get... Hold up. That's another Star Wars vehicle. Hold on, I need to call Disney. Yeah, they said they couldn't do anything and they need to rework their patent to sue them. Anyways, this area looks very cool and might actually be where that power core is if we end up having to attack it. Then we get Sensei Zane and this younger and honestly creepy looking clone, and I have a feeling something is very different about Zane this time around. Then we get this random shot of Sergeant Johnson, this cool looking girl who seems like she's some sort of robot and honestly seems like she could be a siren, although I really don't think she is. And I've heard discussion that she's the Timekeeper's helper or second hand, but I'm unsure if that's confirmed. Then we get Claptrap the cable guy, and then we get the big loot explosion of the trailer, and I'd highly recommend watching Jolt's Dude's video because he went over all the manufacturers, so if you'd like to see what's returning, go check that out. However, I do want to point out that these little swirls are all the previous rarities that come before Legendary. So this is purple, blue, green, all of the ones that come before Legendary, and I thought that was really cool. Another random point, but I think this room is the boss room on this snow planet. Then we get this big opening shot of this huge green planet and the Vault Hunters in the foreground. And this is obviously likely where we saw those vehicles earlier and this facility, as well as another enemy type that we'll see later. There's also another huge spire, which looks like it's part of some sort of huge city system. Moving underground, we see who is most likely the Zane character holding a Jacob's pistol. Also, this dude's fixing something up. I don't know, maybe Claptrap was busy. And then we get another shot of the spire activating. This is what I was talking about earlier. This also gives us a really cool perspective shot of how huge it truly is. And again, this would make more sense for the shot to be up in the spire as we're running towards it. So we may have to be stopping some sort of countdown. And then we get another enemy shot of this really cool scav with a SAM turret missile launcher on his arm. And he's also covered in random trash. You can see an umbrella and trash bags on his head. I wonder if they'll have more dynamic enemy spawning. And also, this is the same planet as we can see the dome up over here. Now this might be some sort of beacon mission like in Borderlands 2, or like I was saying earlier, this could also be the respawn stations. This could be what they look like. And so if it is, this would also be a respawn station as we can see the same green light. We also get this weird looking plant dude also on the same planet, and a very quick shot of the cultist guys who are likely of the Order, I believe it's called. And then we see that other enemy type I was talking about earlier. This sort of Kragan looking thing. The Kragans are from the pre-sequel if you don't know, but these ones aren't on fire. So I wonder if these are an adapted form of Kragans that have come from Elpis and have evolved over the years. Then we get another quick shot of this big dude who seems like he could be a boss, and then a shot of this guy grappling up and using one of his confirmed abilities, which appears to be 2 axes, which is one of ice and one of fire. I also believe that this black hole may be from some kind of augment of the ability. I also want to point out, we also get shown 2 new enemies, being this cloaking Iridian or whatever the artificial soldiers actually are, and these 2 who are actually wielding guns. And this guy is just one of the cultists from earlier. And finally, we get the last shot of the trailer. This is of the Timekeeper, who begins to levitate and activate the artificial looking Volt symbol behind him. Now this makes me wonder if this is his ability activating or if he has control over some sort of monster or super weapon. And this seems like it's almost a last ditch effort for him to win. Also, Elpis appears much closer to the planet, and this arm piece thing is actually from this dude earlier. So maybe he's not a boss enemy after all. And finally, I also went ahead and found the song in the background, which is Starburster by Fontaine's DC, and this song is supposedly about the chaotic inner struggle of dealing with unquenchable desires, as well as the primal animalistic nature of our subconscious, the relentless search for fulfillment that remains undefined, and the conflict between seeking and self-destruction. So if this is true, and Gearbox can massively deliver on these concepts and make this really, really good, then I think we may just have a winner. Oh, you know, besides all the Unreal Engine 5 problems that will happen at launch. Anyways, that was all the big things that I could find in the Borderlands 4 trailer. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, a like, subscribe, even a comment down below. Just let me know what your thoughts were. That would be awesome. Anyways, I'll see you next time.